How is it going, you lovely lot? Welcome back to the season finale of Season 5 here at Tokyo 23 FC. Today is the J2 playoff final. Ourselves or Grampus will be playing their trade in the top tier of Japanese football next year. I hope it's us. But we know that this game is going to be a difficult one. Grampus, a team that we lost to away from home earlier on this year. We go into this game as the away seed. As a result of that, we have to win in 90 minutes because otherwise they go up as the highest seed. A draw is not enough. Now, of course, last time out in the semi-final, we dispatched of Jeff United really convincingly. Elsewhere, Espels were demolished by Grampus in their game. Grampus do have some very good players. In fact, their key man, arguably the best player in the league, is Daiki Monomiyama. He's good, isn't he? He is probably the best player we've come up against of any J2 team at the very least. If we get promoted, I'd like to sign him. I don't know if he'll want to join us, though. And of course, just as a little reminder, whilst we do have some money in the bank, the reality is that we have been an underdog throughout this year. We went into this season with a media prediction of 19th. We were able to strengthen the squad over the course of the year. And in fact, when you look at the season preview, you know what? Suddenly we don't look so bad. Nakano has appeared in the Media Dream 11. The goalkeeper, allegedly now a J1 quality player. And I'm kind of inclined to agree with that. What a signing he's been as a freebie. He made some big penalty saves to get us here, and whilst we were getting big saves from him, Grampus were just spending big. Look at this. They spend £7 million a year on their salaries. In fact, Grampus have the biggest wage spend of any team at this level. Jeff United, who we beat last episode, spent about 50% less, which is absolutely wild. As for ourselves, we are rock bottom. We spend £1 million a year on wages. Yep, our wage budget is 7.5 times lower than theirs. All of that to say, today's going to be difficult. Buckle up, get ready. We are going to have extended highlights on for this game, and I'm really quite nervous. Today, by the way, is episode number 42 of Tokyo Rising. I hope you guys are as excited and as pumped for this episode as I am. Just a little heads up, there will not be a YouTube video tomorrow. There'll be a transfer special, regardless of the outcome today, on Monday. I'm going to hope it's a feel-good transfer special as we try and get ready for J1. This is going to be tough, though. And sadly, if we do want to make it out of this game as winners, we are going to have to do it without two rather key players. The first, Abdul Ahmed, the Pakistani South Korean winger, has been absolutely sensational. We've had a really good run of form to end the year. This guy's been a massive part of it. Sadly, he has failed a fitness test ahead of this game, so he will not be available. And of course, Hashizume, who's been a very useful player to have on off the bench at times this year, also out injured. Two players in the wide area that could maybe win you a game on their day. But you know what? If we want to look for some positives, our form to end the season has been really good. And in fact, when you look at the ratings for our players in their last 5 games, at least when it comes to the starting 11, we have been in some really good form. We were unbeaten in our last kind of 6 or 7 league games, maybe 7 if you include the playoff game. In fact, our last defeats came against Gifu and Grampus in August. It's now November. So in terms of team selection and how we deal with Ahmed's departure, or absence rather, he's not going anywhere. I can tell you that right now. Sakurai is going to come into the team and play on the left-hand side. This guy, I feel like on his day, he's popped up with some really important goals in my mind. And yet when you look at his player history screen here, it looks really unimpressive. I feel like he's done some good stuff for us in the Emperor's Cup. I'd love him to do some good stuff for us today. As I already mentioned, in goal we are going with Nakano. He is in the Media Dream 11, probably our best player. He is an exceptional goalkeeper that we were able to snap up on a free transfer from a team that played 2 divisions below the J2 division. In terms of the rest of the team, Ono was a big addition this year at left back. He has not perhaps had the crazy season you might have expected, or at least he didn't really have it. But what I will say is his recent form has been nothing short of sensational. The left wing backs look really good, and of course Tachi Banner, a new signing towards the tail end of the summer transfer window, has also come in and had, well, a little bit of an impact. I still feel like I'm waiting for him to have that breakout, standout performance. Maybe that could come today. And of course it was the defence that was a big focus of our improvements over the course of the summer transfer window, because we not only signed Sakaguchi here, the 18-year-old who's popped up with a few big goals, but we also signed Luck Manga, a player who has been in and out of the Media Dream 11 at centre-back. I really like like this guy. Bit sad that he's not been in the Cameroonian national team for any more, although then again, maybe it's a good thing, because it means he's been around to play football matches for us. In the midfield for today's game, it's going to be the Brazilian duo at centre mid, Lucas Ferreira, Vinicius Diniz. These two guys have been absolutely sensational. Diniz did miss a penalty recently. We're going to put that to the back of our mind, because ultimately, these have been two of our most consistent players over the course of the year. Ferreira with over double figures for assists, 11 of them to his name. Diniz, by comparison, hasn't perhaps been the match winner he was in previous years. But what I will say in this man's defence is he has been a very consistent player now for a couple of years for us. Last year, he was great. This year, he has been beyond solid. I mean, he's got 15 goal contributions in 30 games. For a centre mid, that's beyond what you can expect. Talked about the situation on the left-hand side with Sakurai. On the right, Kamiyama, another player who has just elevated his game to end the year. He was a player who I think had maybe 1 goal and 2 assists at one point. I'll be honest, the numbers haven't exactly exploded upwards, and when you look at his average rating, 6.88 across 30 league games, doesn't seem that impressive, but I mean, look at his form in the last 20 games. He has been sensational, especially the last 10. He's turned into this little match winner, and I feel like he is going to be vital in the game today, as well are going to be our goal scorers, the first of which is a long-term servant to the club in Takagi, the 23-year-old, signed on a free transfer when we're in the JFL. He has been in double figures for the last couple of years, has perhaps slowed down a little bit this year, although, I don't know, 7 assists, 10 goals is pretty bloody good, especially when you're not the main man, because this man most definitely is. The 18-year-old Enriquito Taba has been nothing short of sensational. We spent some very big money on him. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken, you can see here, he is the top goal scorer in the whole of J2, very likely to go away with the Golden Boot. In terms of average ratings, he's actually tied with one of Grampus's players in Rueda. This guy, we've got to try and keep quiet today. He's another one of their big star men. He's also on £11,000 a week, nearly £12,000. For comparison, our whole squad is on £24,000. If there was a criticism to have of our team going into this end of season, I don't know how many match winners we've got on the bench. We've got players like Kainoki who we could call upon. I think Okamura as a backup goal scorer is a pretty good player at 18 years old, albeit when you look at his form, perhaps it's not the most inspired. But besides those two players, you've got the likes of Yoni Yama that you can bring in, but not really anyone here who's a proven goal scorer and match winner. This is one of those times where I wish I was allowed more than 4 foreign players in the kind of starting team and bench, because then I'd have Omarov on the bench. But of course, the man who was massive for us last year has been a lot more absent this year, cannot play in this game. So he's just not in the squad. I'm sad. I'm kind of looking through the rest of our squad, just thinking, is there any other attackers to have out there? I mean, when you look at it, the vast majority of the rest of our players are just defenders and defensive midfielders. That is one area, I think, in the off-season, regardless of the outcome today, we've got to look to improve a little bit. Anyway, that's a bit about our team. Like I mentioned, Rueda, from a statistical point of view, has been an absolute freak for Grampus. Their top goal scorer, besides him, is this guy, Yamamoto. He is very good. 20 years old, 16 finishing, 17 composure, nice physicals, has 14 goals in only 18 starts and 9 sub-appearances. Maybe someone to be a little bit fearful of. But anyway, with that all said and done, we are going to submit our team for this game and get into things. I would love to make it to J1 at the first time of asking. I think it will make next season a particularly big challenge. We've ended this season strongly, but I am under no disillusion. This is one of the strongest teams on paper in the league. But there's a reason they missed out on automatic promotion, albeit by only 1 point. They are beatable. Last time we played them, they did demolish us. I am going to start with the more defensive system for today's game. And as I mentioned, I'll pause the game right here and now, we're going in extended highlights for this game. We're going to live it all out live. Okay, Grampus playing in red, we are playing in white, and we could find ourselves not feeling, well, all that much delight, because we've got the ball in our box. It's from range. It's gone wide. I've got to remind myself, we're playing on extended highlights. I normally play on key highlights. There's going to be a few more highlights that feel like something could happen, and then it doesn't really happen. I'm going to hope that's about to happen here, because they had one shot that was a replay. Now, we're straight into another highlight. Nakayama with the ball for them, going all the way back to their goalkeeper in Demba Tiam. He's going to play it forward to Handa. Kaneko through the middle. Oba, Uchida, dispossessed. Nice little tackle. Now, can we try and make something happen? Of course, we're playing our 4 at the back system. We're going to try and play defensive, just kind of hit them on the counter. I expect them to attacking in this game, in spite of the fact they do not need to win this game to be promoted. A draw is enough for them. For us, I want to keep it close for as long as I can, and then maybe go to the more attacking system. It's a good tackle there initially from us, but I'll tell you what, we're still in problems, and that's Rueda. That's the Argentine bloke. It's his 23rd goal of the year. He's a freak. I thought with the extended highlights being a thing, it was just going to be a speculative long shot that amounts to nothing. No, sadly not. This man has been, well, arguably the best player in the league, and he's single-handedly put them ahead. We have to score 2 now. I mean, 10 minutes into this game, we've had 17% of possession. This is looking particularly grim. I feel like we can't win a game with anything less than 25% of possession. Heck, anything less than 30, I think, is pushing it with our system, of course. With the way we like to play, we're going to sit back, defend deep, then look to hit teams on the break with our pace, but against teams who just know how to play patiently, know how to hold on to the ball, doesn't really work all that well, and especially if a team gets a lead like Grampus have here and don't have to go on the attack, there isn't going to be those same opportunities behind. Rueda's had a shot there. The keeper could only parry it. He nearly had a second already, the Argentine. You know what? 20 minutes. We've not got near them. Sakurai's now got a book in. I feel like this is now just forcing my hand, isn't it? Kayanoki has to come on. That is our second choice left midfielder out. Kayanoki, I brought him in recently, didn't I say? And I felt like it was a sign from the Football Manager gods that he had to return to the team. I'm going to consider it the exact same today. He is going to come in, and 20 minutes into this game, I feel like I just have to do a roll of the dice. We're not going to get 2 goals with such little possession. We have to play on the front foot. We need to try and force turnovers. Of course, we have these 2 tactical systems that kind of use the same shape, but kind of deploy players very differently in and out of possession, but in a way that allows us to interchange between them. And at this moment in time, it's safe to say that the more conservative system hasn't worked. What I will say is, last time we took on Grampus in the league, I had this exact same moment, and then we changed things and went more attacking, and it still didn't really work. We went on to lose the game 3-1 and actually concede a fair few goals because we were on the front foot, but I'd rather try. I'd rather roll the dice and go for it for 70 minutes rather than leave it too late, sit deep, get torn apart, concede another goal whilst playing defensively, and leave ourselves with even less time to come back. Not even 30 minutes played here. We've not had a shot. They've had, well, less of the ball since we've changed the system inside the last 10 minutes, but ultimately we are chasing shadows against a team that just have superior quality when they have the ball. Uchida with the ball, lays it to Rueda. Ton now for them, lays it back to Kaneko. They are knocking the ball around with confidence, aren't they? Noniyama on this right-hand side gets dispossessed by Kayanoki. The man who's been brought on off the bench, our third choice left winger, was our first choice last year, and perhaps that run there an indicator he has found his level at J2. This is beyond his skill set, and in fact they are now going to look to exploit that space in behind on the left-hand side through Oba. He lays it back to Kaneko. Grampus, on the one hand, don't feel dangerous at the edge of the box, and yet it's where they've scored from once. Fortunately, they're not going to score from it there. Corner. Set pieces could be vital. Ono, I'm looking for you to deliver a ball of quality. We have big players to aim for. Sakaguchi was under it. It's cleared away, but only as far as Taba. The youngster is going to keep the ball alive. It falls to Ferreira, and that was speculative at best. That was our first shot of the game, by the way. We have 6 minutes left of this half. Time is just trickling away. It is still 1-0 to Grampus. The ball is cleared away. Nakayama, back and forth it goes. Cleared away as far as Sugai. He's now going to play it wide to Noniyama. Dinked forward. Sakaguchi wins the header. Ono wins the header. And now it's with Takagi and Kayanoki, the left midfielder, back. And, I mean, this is nice. We're having a bit more of the ball, sadly. We've had the ball. We've lost the ball. Ono, who's not the best wing-back defensively. He's on the pitch for his ability to bring it forward. Has not brought it forward well there. And while Rueda nearly scored another. Speaking of the devil, here he is again. Everything goes through Rueda with them, doesn't it? Here he is. He took the set piece. He's now got the second ball. He's dribbling inside. He skips past his man. I just expect him to score at every moment. Okay, it's 1-0 to Grampus at the break. We're not out of it, but let's be honest. We have simply put not done enough here. Part of me sat thinking, what do I do to change things tactically? But I'll be honest, I think the sad reality with this kind of game is this is a match where we are losing by virtue of the fact our opposition just have significantly more quality than us. But we're going to look to try and make something happen. I'm going to change Takagi to a pressing forward in the kind of 4-2-4 that we're now deploying. I mean, Ono and Tachibana I've already got set to wing back on attack. In possession, I've right now got us trying to play the ball really wide. Instead of playing wide attacking-wise, I've got an idea. I feel like we have to do something. I'm going to ask the players to play really narrow and try and force the play through the middle. Fully aware here that we're playing a tactic that does involve using wider players, but I'm going to just change things up, make us play narrow, and then I'm also going to encourage our wingers to cut inside with the ball. I want to try and puncture a hole through the middle. I want to try and overwhelm them in that area. Our strikers aren't the best in the air. We've not had a lot of success there. So rather than run into a brick wall repeatedly. Let's just see if we can make something happen by exploiting, well, a potential gap. And I say potential because Rueda pushes forward a lot. Tabber, well, might have a chance here. Tabber puts it wide. That's the best chance of the game that we've had 20 seconds in. But with their Mazzala and centre mid, they're getting forward a lot. I wonder if we can bully Kanenko. That's what I'm thinking we need to do. 30 minutes left. I mean, Grampus, I'll be honest, they have been halted since we've changed things up. They have struggled so far, and now we have a set piece. Daisuke Ono, you beautiful man at left back. Please put in a ball of quality. He whips it in. Manga's under it. It's headed away yet again. Not the first time. Tabber's had to keep the play alive. Manga has jumped in. And that is not what you need to see at this moment in time. Our centre-back, a man I've spent so much money to bring into the club, having a moment of absolute madness. And with that, surely, well, any hope of promotion is gone because we're a goal down. A draw is not enough. Tachibana, come in and play centre-back. Ono, I guess, play forward. I mean, what do you actually do in this situation here? I feel like I just have to go for something weird and asymmetric and hope that maybe it can work. I probably should pause the game in the background as well. I mean, I hate to say it, that's probably how this season ends, isn't it? I have some changes I can make. Okamura, I'm going to bring him in. I mean, at this point, I don't really know what we're doing tactically. I'm just drawing a pretty pattern. Going to get rid of the focus through the middle and just make our attacking width kind of default. We're going to look to play more direct and hit early crosses. And in transition, well, we're already set to counter press. Let's no longer distribute to the flanks. Let's get the ball over the top quickly. Folks, we need a miracle. We're down a man. There's 28 minutes. Grampus have been, let's be honest, all over us when we've had 11 men. For us to turn things around here will be the greatest Football Manager achievement possibly ever seen on YouTube. And saying all of that, it could get a lot worse before it gets better because they have a corner. It's whipped towards the near post. It's headed half away. Can't fully get it away from danger, although Kamiyama has eventually got it away as far as Nomiyana. But Grampus bringing it forward again and pulling the trigger. It's gone wide. He was offside. It wouldn't have counted. I mean, I don't even really know what to tell you at this point. I feel like we're just existing on a weird ethereal plane. There is not a lot I can do here. We're working solely off vibes as Uchida brings it forward. A second goal for them almost feels inevitable, given how attacking we're now playing. But yeah, things not looking good. Oba scores. It's 2-0. Grampus are promoted. What a sad day. You know things are bad because I've just changed the highlights to key highlights. I don't need to endure this suffering anymore, do I? This is a game that has gone with the sending off. I feel like we were never really, truly in it to win it. We'd need 3 goals in the remaining 13 minutes. I should point out, after this, we are going to do a little end-of-season wrap-up bit, so don't tune out early, you know. There could be the comeback of dreams happen, and if not, well, we'll talk a little bit about the plan for next year, which I feel like at this point we have to decide that is going to be built around Nakano. Our goalkeeper has been so good this year. I feel bad for him that we're not going to get promoted. Rueda, I mean, he's been different gravy this year. He has been the standout player in J2, the Argentine. He scored their opening goal. He's been key to so much of what they've done here. And I'm not enjoying this. This is not how this game was meant to play out in my mind. I think a lack of attacking depth maybe cost us as we needed to get on the front foot and change things up at half-time. Maybe injuries also playing a role in that. Grampus, enjoy your promotion. For Tokyo 23, it is going to be J2 playoff heartbreak. We are not promoted. We will not be in the division for the first time. And in fact, for the first time in this entire save game, I've been asked about doing a broadcast interview. Is this the first time we've played on TV? My assistant can go. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to blame Manga, but we did have a chance before he got sent off. Sakurai's out for 6 to 8 weeks. He can enjoy his off-season. He can have a nice little break. The players are going to be paid a decent amount of money. We finished 5th in J2. Do we get any prize money for that? Is there prize money for that position? I don't suspect there is, but maybe? No, never mind. There's no prize money. And with that, Season 5 is in the books. We are not promoted to J1. Grampus are. The second time of asking, they've been promoted. And I started this episode by saying I wanted to sign Nomiyama. I don't think he's going to be joining us. I found a positive. Tabber won the Golden Boot Award, and I'm going to hope that no one's interested in him. People are interested in him. The good news is the team interested are a team in the division below us. He's got a contract till 2031. I don't necessarily need to give him a new contract because he's got a contract extension after promotion. I kind of want to believe we will be promoted with this guy as our striker. He has been so good this year. I think he's only going to get better. Sadly, he was our only player in the J1 best team of the year. Ahmed actually was amongst the subs. So sorry, Ahmed, forgot about you. You were hidden away. He is another player that has interest in him. And now we get to have the end of season review. And let's be honest, it's been a really, really good season. We spent some big money on some players, but it's the two players who got into the media kind of a dream 11 for the year, which I think is an indicator they probably were worth the price that we paid for them. £600,000 for Ahmed and Tabba combined. There was some money spent big elsewhere, but to be honest, when you look at the players like Nakano, Ferreira, Ono, that all came into the team, I feel like they did actually contribute quite a lot. The new signings made a difference with this step up, and it was quite a big step up that was a bit daunting. I mean, in the end, we finished 5th place. We were 4 points off second, only 9 points off the top. We do have one of the youngest squads in the whole division, and if not for, let's be honest, a rather bumpy start to the year, maybe, just maybe, we could have had a more successful end of things. I mean, look how good our end to the year was prior to the playoffs. Such a shame, just couldn't get it done against Grampus. Reputation, sadly, hasn't gone up by half a star or more, but you know what? It's a national reputation. We should enjoy that. Tabba was our most popular shirt sold alongside Manga, and in terms of the finances of the club, well, let's be honest, they've been elevated. J2 is a big step up from J3. Had we got promoted, J1 is this ludicrous jump up finance-wise. Maybe it's good to have a year of stability in J2, you know? Here is our 11 for the year. I don't think it's a surprise necessarily. The vast majority of these players, Mitsuhashi and a few other defenders here, though, probably not going to be long-term plans. Mitsuhashi, by the way, of course, kind of our backup right back at this point, wants to be a star player. I can't afford to give him a star player role. He's not good enough for that role. The 24-year-old has been here since the beginning. His contract's up in a few weeks. Of course, Ataki and Yoshida at centre-back were replaced during this year. Maybe I need to reconsider Manga's spot in the squad, given the sending off he just had. But in terms of the attack and midfield, no real surprises. Takagi was fans player of the year, Tabba signing of the season. Kind of interested, by the way, that Takagi was higher rated by our fans than Tabba, because Tabba, when you look across, well, just this screen in general, he was dominant in so many different areas. Our supporter profile went up by 25,000 followers to 75,000. Season ticket holders also went up. We definitely are seeing an uptick in kind of the attention that we as a team get. The board have set their aim for the current year, or for rather the coming year. They don't want to sign any players over the age of 30. Nothing else really changing too much here. Aim for end of next year, reach the playoffs again. My contract's up at the end of next year. I feel like we should be achieving the playoffs at the very least. Done the end of season meeting, kept all the players happy. That is the main aim. Look at that, green happy smiley faces absolutely everywhere. And now I feel suitably ready for a transfer special next time out. We've got money to spend. We've got a few months until the season starts. I have some rough ideas of where I want to improve the team, but I actually think the core, in terms of the starting 11, is in a really good spot, especially when you realise just how many of these players are kind of 23 or younger. The future does look bright here, doesn't it, at Tokyo 23 FC? Anyway, folks, we are going to leave things there for today. As I mentioned at the start of the video, there will be no episode tomorrow. We will be starting with a transfer special next time out. I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. I'll see you on Monday for the start of season number 6. And until then, it's me, Jack. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.